Another word that doesn't always mean the same thing is the word respect. In one meaning, it means something like acceptance or admiration. In another meaning, it basically means fear. And respect is important to think about because respect from others is a need for almost everyone. And it's a major source of our own self-respect. We could think of that as something, along the lines of food and drink. It's just really important for people. There's sort of a positive kind of respect in which we gain acceptance and admiration and recognition for our character, or perhaps for the things that we do. And we certainly get acceptance of our place in the world as a person. It's good to have that kind of respect, and it builds a kind of self-image or self-respect that is optimistic and positive. But there's a negative kind of respect, and often when I use the word respect in conversation or in explaining some of the work that I do, the first interpretation is that I'm talking about fear, and that saying that people need to be respected is sort of like saying they need to be feared. That's not what I mean. But I recognize that certainly in the prisons where, for example, James Gilligan worked, fear is the coin of the realm. It's intimidation of others is a way of carving out a space for each prisoner, and a pecking order is established with the most feared people at the top of that pecking order. It's a very sad and tragic example of how respect plays into human psychology. Now, when either kind of respect, either the positive kind or the negative, is threatened by others, violence may follow, either physical violence or psychological violence. Think about people insulting each other and then in retaliation experiencing sabotage in the workplace and things like that. Now, what does this have to do with nonviolence? Well, in learning nonviolence, we need to learn how certain psychological mechanisms work that are not immediately obvious. What we can learn here is that others may push our buttons, and they do that by challenging our self-respect. An insult is like a little punch at our self-respect. And the person who's pushing our buttons hopes to get a rise out of us, hopes to get a reaction. And knowing that this is done to get a reaction from us can just help us not to feel threatened by the insult. And that opens up possibilities for other kinds of responses, hopefully responses that will be more creative than just retaliation. I'll be back soon with some other ideas, and I hope you'll support this channel by subscribing and like the video if you found it interesting and useful. Thanks a lot.